Hello and welcome to the Diana Falzone Show here on Paltalk.com. Hope all of you guys are having a great day. I'm sure some of you are fashionistas out there and are completely intrigued by New York's Fashion Week. It is the upfront to the spring fashion trends, and of course we don't want you to feel left out. We are here in a New York City studio, of course, and sitting to the left of me is a style expert, Lindsay Weiss of SenseoFashion.com. You guys can check that out right now at SenseoFashion.com. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, you've brought a lot of goodies for everyone to kind of see what the trends are in terms of accessories and clothing. And right now we're going into the fall months here in on the East Coast for even LA and everything in between. We still want to, a little chillier. So we want to know what the looks are. What are some of the fall looks before we get into what is really the spring and the fashion week phenomenon going on?
So for fall, it's all about color. So forget plain black that you and I are both wearing now. But as we transition into fall, it's really all about color. You know, deep, rich jewel tones, splashes of color, even neons paired with black. We're also seeing really rich materials, velvets, mixing and matching. Polka dots are huge. Mix them with your stripes, with your animal prints. It's kind of like anything goes.
I just saw, and maybe I shouldn't share that I read these gossip sites, but I saw something on a gossip site, and it was Stacy Keibler, who's the new girlfriend of George Clooney, and she was wearing a crushed black velvet dress, but it didn't seem to suit her. It seemed to age her a little bit, and she's a beautiful girl, but it was like a dress that it looked like she went into her mom's closet and borrowed from 1982.
I was going to say, I feel like that's like a prom dress.
Yeah.
Crushed velvet.
It was crushed velvet. It was really short. It was like kind of hookerish. And I'm thinking, is that really the trend? Are we going like retro velvet, or is it more
I
of
think
a...
if you're doing a velvet, because there's a fine line between like that cheesy velvet, you know, like where you see the different, you know, the light in it, between like a really rich velvet. So I think if you're doing velvet, you also want one that's not too heavy, so it's not adding bulk all around to your body.
Right. I actually had, and I'm not sure if I could bring these back out from my closet, velvet blazers that were really well fitted. I got them from vintage stores, and I rock them all through high school.
That's huge for fall.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to just be black. It can be, you know, a burgundy, a plum, navy, you know, every color, but definitely pair it with your jeans and you're good to go.
So for those trends like bursts of color, even though you're pairing a basic black dress, you have splashes of color with your accessories.
Right, so I have the blue, I have the red. I used to only be into black and neutrals, and this is really the first season I can say in so many years where I'm wearing everything. I'm wearing the turquoise with the red, the pink. I mean, you never used to wear bright pink with red, and now it's like, you know, that's what all the designers are doing. Yeah, especially for spring coming up. It's all about the color blocking and the brights.
Wow, so you can do bright red with light pink, and that's okay.
And you should.
Oh. See, I like that. And if you go on SenseoFashion.com, what can people find there? What exactly is that site for people who don't know?
So SenseoFashion.com is a global marketplace that brings together independent designers with people who buy fashion online. And you'll find everything from apparel to handbags, jewelry, you know, one-of-a-kind vintage treasures. And what's so cool about the site is that our items are from all over. So we have sellers from so many different countries. So you might find an amazing blouse from Australia or great booties for the fall from Germany. So everything is really from all over. It's not just from right outside your front door.
See, that's good because people who obviously can't go shopping maybe in New York, can't go to Australia, they can do that just by going to your website, SenseoFashion.com. And this is an international market here on Paltalk, so that works for us very nicely. And as always, if you have questions, if you have some questions about your fashion sense, what you want to learn about the trends or how to coordinate an outfit, I know some guys out there too never know what to wear on dates and what's acceptable. This is the time to ask your questions. You can do that by raising your hands and talking into a mic, and if you don't have a mic, that's fine. You can text the questions in and Lindsay and I will happily answer them. So don't forget that you can communicate with us directly. So thinking about accessories, because I've always shied away from accessories. I'm not wearing any right now, and I get a little nervous with what works and what doesn't, and I'm originally from New Jersey, so I always think that anything I put on might, you know, I might lean towards more, and I just try to leave it alone. But you've brought some really cute pieces in that I'm going to grab a few of over here. So when we look at these necklaces, like this one especially seems very tribal. And this comes with, is this a ring?
It's a ring.
Wow.
A coordinating ring.
Okay, this is intense. I like it though.
So these are both from Sank of a Child, and you can buy them on SenseoFashion.com. And for fall, we're really seeing chunky jewelry. So really, the more the better, the chunkier the better. And this is a statement necklace, but it's even on the smaller side, but you can really do chunky and you can layer them up. And this is another big necklace, and I love the gold chains hanging off of it because it can match all your gold jewelry. And that's from Aria Nero, and that's $250.
Wow. And can you ever pair, now this might be crazy, can you ever pair gold and silver or never?
I think you definitely can.
Really?
Yeah.
Shocking.
I think if you're doing like a silver earring and you're wearing that with the gold, then I would make sure you have a little bit of gold and silver somewhere else.
Okay.
So maybe your bracelets are layered, which I'll show you after a big trend. So you might have a silver bracelet or one with a touch of gold. I think as long as it looks a little more intentional than just like, haphazard,
right,
you can do it.
I like that. I like the haphazard. So you mentioned about layering bracelets. So let's bring some layers over here. Ooh, that's intense.
So these are two different bracelets. This yellow one with the turquoise stones is from Brittany Miranda. It's $28, so it's a great price point.
Wow.
And it's a wraparound bracelet. So you can wrap it around your wrist, and there's a little Hamsa, good luck sign hanging from it. And this can easily be layered with this bracelet, which I absolutely love. It's like lava stone, and there's a skull on it with the tassel, which is a big trend, tassels. And this is $100 from FB Creations.
Wow.
And these look great together.
Oh, that actually really does pair nicely, because I wouldn't have even thought that. But that's the thing about fashion, is that there's not really a wrong, but there are guidelines.
Right, exactly.
So are there certain rules, fashion rules, that people should always kind of oblige by, like don't mix brown with black?
Right. I think you can mix brown with black, and I love that. And I think you can definitely mix black with navy, which I know people a lot of times get confused about. I think one thing to be careful about is if you're showing your legs, you don't want to show, you don't want to expose too much. You don't want your stomach showing, your legs showing. I think pick one area to expose. And I think sometimes people especially in Hollywood, get caught up in the Stacy Keebler, like you're saying, the short with maybe, it's strapless, so it's like you're seeing the arms, the chest, and it's just a little too much.
It's just like a little swatch of fabric covering you, and you're like, meh.
Yeah, so keep it classy.
Guys out there are like, no.
They like it.
Keep showing it. That's what works for us. What about those sweaters I keep seeing, and maybe this is just something I'm noticing and it's not a trend at all, it's just bad fashion.
Okay.
I keep seeing sweaters, but midriff sweaters. Is the midriff back in?
It is back in, but again, if you're doing the midriff, you don't want to wear a mini skirt.
Right.
So I love a midriff, but I always make sure I'm wearing a really long skirt with it, because otherwise it's like too much. The guys might like it, and I'm sure they do, but it's a no-no.
Can you do like a midriff with a pair of jeans and boots and like make it kind of sexy? Cool?
Yeah, and you can even pair it with a blazer as it gets colder, or you might not feel comfortable walking out of your apartment going to dinner in a midriff, so you might want to put a blazer on, and then as you have a few drinks, take it off, and you feel a little more comfortable.
Does the belly button show with those now, or is it high-waisted pants, cover belly button, and then just like swatch of skin?
I like a swatch of skin. I think if you're showing too much, it's not too tasteful.
We don't want Britney Spears kind of a look going on here. And I'm noticing your nail polish color, which is really pretty.
Dark.
Yeah, like what is the nail polish color? Because I tried something new. It was a fall color.
I love that.
Really?
Yeah.
Because people are saying to me that I look sickly with this grayish, marbly kind of color.
That.
Well, thank you. But a lot of people don't really like it. So I've had my friends being like, oh, wear a brighter color. What is the nail polish trend?
We're seeing darks, really, really dark colors that have a little bit of like a shimmer to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be, an emerald green, it might be a navy, even like a burgundy. Yeah, there's a lot of brands are doing that. And I also think the nude that we saw from spring is going into fall, where it's just like that neutral, like really nude color.
Right.
And yours is great because that goes with everything.
It does. It goes with everything.
Yeah.
It's just that my friends are like, you can't wear this color. Actually, one of my dear friends at Paltalk was like, why? Why are you wearing that nail polish color? So I think it depends. I think if you're comfortable with like the ruby colors, that I really want to go get an emerald green later today when I get a manicure.
I'll tell you what brands. I have it written down at home.
Really?
I'll email it to you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Well, we have a text question from Crosby in South Beach, Miami. He goes, how much is the jewelry you're showing and where is it available?
Okay, Crosby. All of our jewelry is available on SenseoFashion.com. And it ranges. The bracelet that I showed right here, which I absolutely love, from Brittany Miranda, it's $28. And it's kind of like a friendship bracelet. It wraps around. I think the turquoise one I showed was $250. So it's definitely, you can get a steal. You might get something that's, a little bit more expensive. It runs the gamut.
If this wraps around, just a quick question. How does it stay on?
It stays on. It's cool.
Okay.
Bye.
I'm interested. I want to know how it works.
There's a little clasp.
Oh, now I get it.
Yep.
Oh,
So
that makes sense.
that leather goes into that.
Okay. Oh, it's actually really pretty. And it's what I like is the looks are unique, and I think that's one thing about fashion is no one wants to be a mass fashion kind of piece. Everybody wants something unique and different for them, and that is why we have to talk about these little shoe accessories. I know girls out there are like, what is this? Well, it's a normal high heel, and then there's like a slip cover over it. It's almost like a piece of furniture that has a new cushion or something. Can you explain this to us?
So these are from Glam Fox Couture. They're $30. And it's really cool because if you have your basic heel and you want to jazz it up a little bit, they simply come off. It's like a cover for your heel. You slip it back on, and then it goes on back there. And there's different ones. This is feathers, but there's one that have pearls covering the back, that have a fabric that laces up your leg. So there's a lot of different styles. And if you go on our website, SenseoFashion.com, you can see all of them.
Now, when you put your foot in there, do you have to put your foot through this part, or does that press down?
I think it presses down.
See, it's really, I mean, that's definitely something that...
And it looks like it's part of the shoe.
It does.
So it's almost like having a new shoe for $30.
Yeah, that's really smart. And then also you've brought in these pretty shoes that are just a basic heel, but then they have all these couture kind of accessories to them.
Right, those are from Glam Fox Couture as well. And these are $186, and it's a really high white heel, but what's great about it is there's the built-in platform, which we all love, so they're comfortable and you can really, walk around in them. And these are hand-painted, and then there's Swarovski crystals on there to make that peacock design.
That's really pretty. Yeah, and like we said, if any of these kind of, get your fancy, you can get them at SenseoFashion.com. Now, my question about SenseoFashion is, how did it come to be? How did they kind of evoke the idea for this? Because there's so many fashion sites and there's so much in the marketplace that could be saturated. So obviously this is a global market, so that makes it different. But how did it come? It
came to be, we had people from so many different countries. I believe it's about 55 different countries now that sell on our site, and we reach all those people too. And a lot of these people aren't sellers, that are selling in a Neiman's or a Bendel's or a bigger store like that, and they wanted a place to sell. So our site is great because they can set up their own shop. There's no fee to be on it. And we do, the marketing, the PR, we really get their names out there. And it's really a one-stop shop. And if you want something unique, you don't want something that all your friends are buying, you go onto our site and you really find some great things.
Yeah, that's definitely fun. I think that is the main thing. Like, I hate, and you see these Hollywood fashionistas doing this all the time. They're on the red carpet and they're in the same dress as someone else.
Right.
You don't want to have that moment at work. You don't want to have that in your, at a restaurant where some other girl is like outshining you in a dress. So it's nice when there's unique pieces. One of the trends I was going to ask you about is, what are we seeing in terms of lengths of skirts for the fall? Because that seems to be always like prairie length, or then it's maxi and then mini. What are we looking at?
We're seeing long. We're continuing with the long skirt. Also the pencil, which is, below the knee. And
it's hard to wear the pencil though.
It's hard to walk around. It's a big slit in the back.
Yeah.
But you can also wear, I think they're calling it the midi. It's a mid-length skirt, but it still has, it still flares out a little bit, so that's easy to walk in. And that you can pair with your blazers, your little sweaters, and it goes right, into winter.
Are those hard though for your body to pull off? Because even if you're very tall and very thin, I think when you have any skirt that cuts you here, it's a little difficult to wear.
I think if you're wearing a skirt that length, it's best to wear a heel, just because I do agree with you, it might look a little dowdy when you're wearing a flat, with a skirt that length.
Yes, that definitely doesn't work. But so the micro minis are out.
Micro minis, for right now, we're giving them a little bit of a rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can't pair like a black short skirt with, leggings and high boots.
I would say nix the skirt, keep the leggings and the boots, and wear a longer sweater over it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Lindsay Weiss, for joining us.
Thank you.
Guys, make sure to check out SenseoFashion.com for all of your fashion needs, wants, and more. This has been Paltalk.com, the Diana Falzone Show, and we will be back next week with a wonderful man from the United Nations discussing his new global partnerships company. So we'll see you guys soon. Lindsay, thanks again.
Thank you.